I've got to find some place to get the mud on. So.
Okay. Well, you think we got a little bit of mud? A lot of mud? What do you think?
I think we got a lot of mud.
Okay. Well, here's mine.
New. Stay out of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Welcome back to the second repair video on the Tenacity TT Pro for Dadgum RC. And we've been thinking about where to put this box for a Dadgum long time. What do you think, Barry?
That Dadgum box is perfectly placed right now.
Right. So if you remember, and I'll try to show a picture straight out of the box, the Tenacity TT Pro, it had double-sided tape right here, and then this receiver box there, and all these wires here, in my mind, just completely exposed. And it had the receiver box also completely exposed. And I have noticed that, we don't have a trash guard for this one, or a dirt guard is what it's called. But this one did pick up a lot of trash when I'm driving it. And like I've said before, this is my favorite vehicle, but that is one of the things I didn't really like. So I decided to take the receiver box off of there and figure out where I can mount. And I'll show you what this looks like right there. Sort of like the Traxxas models have, where your receiver box is in a waterproof case. But I found that on Amazon for, I don't know, $10 or whatever. And then the only question was, well, what do you mount it to? And I thought about mounting it with, adhesive two-sided tape there, but I really didn't want this to ever get loose and get in that drivetrain, because I felt like that would tear up all the wires. May never dadgum happen. Let's remember what dadgum channel we're on. But I felt like it would just tear everything up, and you'd end up buying all that new stuff, and that would all track all the way back everywhere. So I really wanted to mount this box to the chassis. So you do this your own way, but what I did is I got nuts and bolts from Lowe's that I felt like were right, and drilled holes through the chassis. You do it whichever way you want to do it. Get pretty bolts if you want to. The bolts I have, they might be rather temporary. They might not be the right thing, but right now they're doing the job, because as you can see, it's not going anywhere. But you drill the hole, and then you run the bolts and washers through it, and then I tightened them down there, and then I took a Dremel kind of tool and flattened that off. And so that's how we got that area flat. And once I did that, then I realized that this box right here fits down in here better if you do that. So that's where we're going to start. And I'm going to start by taking these wires right here that are going to end up inside this box, and I'm going to go ahead and run them through the blue lid, right? You daggum all okay with that, Barry?
Very daggum copacetic with it.
Okay. Oh, I believe, now y'all don't know. You're just really getting to know Chad and Barry, but copacetic is a word we use often.
Like daggum.
Like daggum. I said, in the about section of this channel, I say that, we're not mechanics, and we're not, we're not experts in how to grind steel and stuff like that. We're just we're lovers of RC, and we like to make things work, and things that don't work like we think they should, we like to make them work a different way. So the other thing you see these wires go through here now, and I'm going to end up connecting them to the receiver box. But the first thing that I like to do is the receiver box has the antenna on it. So I'm going to run that through here as well, right? And then that goes not in a real good way. I'm sure somebody that really knows what they're doing would do this in a different way. And Barry, if you've got a daggum better idea, you just come on with it.
Not at this daggum time. I do not.
Okay. Well,
this is surgical.
Right. This is surgical. Right. Nice. Yep. Okay, so however you did it, we got the antenna wire through here now, and I'm going to show you how I do the antenna wire and where I think it needs to go. And you know what? Somebody that knows the radio frequencies and how this stuff works, is an expert in various parts of this. They're going to know this stuff better. So if anybody is like that and they say different than what I'm about to say, you go by what they're saying, not what I'm saying. So I like to get this down here where this metal part, you can't cut this off. This metal part bends over here because that's kind of how this came. You take this cap here and you fit that over there, and that is how I do the antenna wire. So it does have a 1/2 inch of the bare wire exposed below that cap, and that is just how I do it. So we're going to take these other wires and we're going to plug them in. You know, Barry, you should have caught me on that, because I should have said we're going to Dadgum plug them in. And so this is the that goes to the ESC right there.
Yep.
This one goes, remember the black goes on the outside. I'm going to put that right next to it.
Yeah.
And I believe that this next one
Dadgum one
is the lights up here.
Yeah. Dadgum lights.
And the black again goes on the outside, right? And I like to put that one little space up just for virtually no reason. And I'm also, before I really put things in there, I'm going to put the gasket for that up around here. And this can kind of get out of the way. I believe this box goes here, right? And I think it goes in like that, where it started out, but I didn't. I messed it up. And you're gonna find, Barry, you're gonna find that that's gonna be a commonality. Me messing stuff up.
We are not Dadgum experts.
We're not. We're getting there though. You know, we know more now than we knew
Before we started with any of these RCs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
tear up enough stuff.
You'll learn that.
You'll learn how to Dadgum fix it. And
you know, one thing, you know what, you probably haven't seen enough of me and Barry yet, but you're going to. So I keep saying that, but don't worry. You're gonna get a million videos of us doing stuff. But we say, man, I got a weird idea. I got a bad idea. I got a horrible idea. I have got a terrible idea. You ready? And the other one will always say, yep. Because that's how we roll. Okay, so we've Dadgum got all the wires inside of the box, like we said. And we went ahead and put the screws here, one in there, one there. And, you know, I would make sure that you get your wires in there. You know, one, they're going to stay. They're not pinched in any sides here. This gasket needs to fit all the way around this box. And once you're sure of that, I would test everything. And the way that I would test it before you put that top on, I would get a battery here, and I've got a Traxxas battery. You've seen this before, with an adapter for a Losi. And you know what? I don't even know what to call that connector, but we got it. And then we got the controller right here. And Barry, you want to hold this just in case it...
Let's don't let it take off.
Yeah. Well, Dadgum will take off. I hate to correct you, but it's Dadgum will take off. So we're going to turn on the controller. And there. And so you'll see, here's the fans that we put on before, and now everything's running inside of that box, and you'll see, right, so the servo works and right, so the throttle works. So we'll turn all that off. Okay. And now I just want to make sure that none of these wires are pinched, because pinched wires can cause you to have to fix wires, and we don't want to do that. And I have put a little liquid gasket on this area right here, right? And so put this right here. And again, we're not mechanics, so I'm sure everybody knows of a better way to do this, but so there you have it. And we can even test it one more time if you want to, but everything's just like we just did it. From the beginning, what we have done is we have added these two fans and this heat sink because the car was overheating. You know, I don't know how many people run into that kind of problem, but I did, and then I found that there's a lot of trash in this area, and eventually I'm gonna get a dirt guard. But I wanted to put this waterproof box in there, so it's all the wires and the receiver and everything is in there, so the trash can't get in there. You probably can't go swimming 150 feet in the ocean with this.
I Dadgum would do
Right.
that.
In all seriousness, it's probably not super waterproof, but it's going to keep the trash out of this, and all these wires are together. And you know what? While we're at it, before I even crank it up, I really recommend taking these wires right here and zip tying them right there. I just don't like wires flopping around because, like, you got your drive shafts right there, and anything that gets in that is going to get thrown everywhere, and that's, you know, kind of my opinion. But we're gonna redo this just a little bit. I like all the wires in there. Now that we can get those in there. But yeah, any wires flopping around can get in places that you don't want, and I guess that's the one thing we have learned for sure. And cut that off, and all these wires are stable and ready to go now, and throw that away. And we're going to test it. Barry's going to grab that end. Just in case we've got something wrong, because, man, that happens. Because, as we say in the About thing, we are not mechanics or experts on anything. We just like RCs, and we like doing this stuff. So here's the wheels turning, right? And here's the throttle, right? And so everything's working, fans going. We hope
Lights
that
are working.
Yep, lights are working. We hope that you can see this running soon, because I'm excited to know how well these fans and heat sink work to keep it from overheating. And honestly, this is my favorite RC, so I really can't wait to get it back on the road. So for now, this is all we have, and just keep Dadgum-olin'. What do you think, Barry?
Keep Dadgum rolling along.
Dadgum-olin'.